Hi, this is Stephen Edwards from eManage One, and in the following video, I'm going to be going over associated parts. Associated parts is a really powerful tool that you can use for your estimating, and it it's it will help you to not forget things. You'll be able to add things automatically, and things can calculate. There's a lot that you could do with these associated parts. So I'm going to kind of do a run through, and basically I'm going to give an example of maybe a typical project that you've worked on where I have a furniture quote. I'm going to use this furniture quote, option number 2. I'm going to open it up, and I have all these different groupings. So these are different areas. I have a boardroom, a conference room, I have some enclosed walls, and so on. And I want to add a new phase and a new grouping. I'm going to call this ancillary, and I'm going to put some Bernhard product. And so what I'm going to do is, if I click on this BOM, and right at the bottom here in the search, I could just type in Bern or Bernhard, and I could grab my miscellaneous Bernhard item. Now, the reason I have this miscellaneous Bernhard item is that Bernhard is not part of any of the pricing catalogs. So it's not inside of 2020 CAP, it's not in Project Matrix, it's not in CET or anything. So this is just a part I'm going to pull from a price list or request a quote and add it. Now, here's where the associated parts comes into play. Once I search this and I hit enter to add it, what it's going to do, if you notice here, it adds my miscellaneous Bernhard part. Now, these are the associated parts. So basically what I told eManage, there's a setup in here for associated parts, is every time I add this miscellaneous Bernhard part, I also may need these parts for this quote. So the first one is asked me is COM yardage. And you know what? I do need COM yardage, and I'm going to enter a 1, but I've also, not only is this COM yardage an associated part to the Bernhard, when I type in 1 for COM, it's actually going to open up another window, and it's going to list all my COM manufacturers that I have inside of eManage. So this actually is going to have some Palace fabrics, and I know it's going to be about 6 yards. So I'm going to enter 6, and one thing that's going to happen is, if you notice down here, it added not only the Palace COM, but it also added Palace freight, because every time when you order Palace fabrics, they're going to charge you for freight as well. So what I did is, that didn't pop up another window and ask me if I want to add freight. It just automatically added it. So my COM, my associated part with this COM was to add freight and add it automatically. Now I could take that a step further. If I had a formula, I could actually have this part add and calculate off of, the base Palace part number or any of these parts. So I'm not going to do that. So I did my COM. Now, miscellaneous, this is Haifa cubes. We have over ocean freight, which is based off of cubes. So this is going to be approximately 8 cubes. So I'm going to add that. And then I have Bernhard freight, which I know Bernhard's going to charge me freight as well. So I can manually add that, or I can also have it automatically apply. So basically what I did there is I started off by adding Bernhard, and then it popped up the associated parts to add with it. And now I have all these parts that added. And if you notice down here, my miscellaneous Haifa cubes, this is what my cost is per cube, is basically $7.95 a cube. I have 8 of those. Now I have Bernhard freight. They'll give me a quote, and I can go over here and I can type in, maybe they give me a quote of $500. My items, maybe I have 4, and oops, let me go back, and actually maybe the item is B1234, and it's a 3-person sofa, and then my list price could be, you know, $1,500, and my manufacturer's discount is, I'll say it's a 50/20/10. And when I do that, it automatically calculates my manufacturer discount. And then my pallet fabrics, if I have freight, and maybe it's just going to be $25. And my yardage, maybe my yardage is, you know, $120 per yard. And this COM fabric, I don't have anything. That's just to get these other items to add, so I can delete that. I don't need that part anymore. So anyways, I very quickly used my ancillary parts. I searched for them, and my ancillary parts, I had them set up as with associated parts that added quickly. Now, to set up associated part, it's very simple. What I recommend is you can try to do it yourself. I think we also have a video, a training video on the website emanage1.com, but call in for support. But it's pretty simple. You go into tools, configure, and right here is associated parts, and you'll see on the left side I have all these parts. These are all the main parts that I added. I basically just searched for the part. So if I was gonna, add, I don't know, let's look for another miscellaneous part. I could just hit misc dash and 3form. All I need to do is select that. I click on this make selected part from search result top level. So I did that, and which added it right here. And now if I search for another part and I just drag and drop it, and it adds it to this part. And then if I wanted to make another associated part with that, I can add this part that's associated with that part. And I could just keep drilling down further and further. And if I don't want that part, I hit delete, and it removes it. And then this part, if I want to add it, make it automatically add, I can tell it to auto add. I can put in a quantity. I can say calculate from the cost and a cost from another part. We're getting into a little bit more detail, but when you get into these areas where you want to use some of the calculated fields, definitely do call in the support, and we'll help you. So anyways, it's a great tool to use, something that everybody should be using, and I hope you enjoyed the video.